Hello everyone, I am Lokesh and welcome back to the channel. So friends, this video is basically on NVTQ preparation Java series. As I sent a message on Telegram group in the morning that from today I will share the Java preparation resources with all of you, because in previous days most of the candidates say that please make videos on Java, it will be very useful for us in the upcoming qualifier round exam and the final round exam. So I decided to make some videos on Java series that are very helpful to you. So this video are on data structures using Java part 1 course, and in this video you will got the PDF notes, and this video is in English language because many candidates want the video in English language, so I make this video in English language only. So friends, let's start the video. I will there is my handwritten notes that are related to the data structures full part. There are all the sections covered in this handwritten notes that I shared with on my blog. There is a link in description. You will go to my blog and check the all the resources that I shared for the Java preparation, and this is the official PDF that I made for the data structures using Java part 1 course, and this PDF will be reference from NVTQ website, because this PDF will help you in solving the different problem, and this PDF will be helpful for understanding the practical implementation of the linked list, stack, queue, and all the other topics that are given on the NVTQ website. So this is the part 1 video. In part 2 video we covered the algorithm section. Before the algorithm sections topics I covered in this video. So there are the 2 notes PDF that you have downloaded from the blog. So let's start the video. So what is the data structure? So data structure can be defined as way to store and organize data that can be used efficiently. As I already said in my previous video that data structures play a very important role in any software development, that are very helpful to store and retrieve data as fast as possible. So why do we need data structure? As this is the most asked question in interview also, that why we learn the data structure, or why we need data structure. There are so many amount or large amount of data that are processed by different system, and if this is stored not properly, so it will lead to many problem like data loss and many problems. So what is the second point of why we need data structure? So it is easier to search for particular data because we have lot of data, and we have so many large amount of data. So it is unable to find the search for particular data if it is not organized in a proper manner. So data structure help will be easier to search for particular data, and it will be organized in a proper format. So what is the third point? The third point is data structure help a program to minimize the uses of resources like memory and space, because we need to proper uses of memory space. So data structure will help in this. So there are different type of data structure like list, stack, queue, etc. Each of them suitable for a different type of task. As we all know that are learned in the previous video using data structure using Python, because some parts are same for the data structure using Python and data structure using Java. So these handwritten notes are very useful for all of your preparation during the data structure. Okay, so data structure can be categorized into 2 parts, linear and non-linear. What do you mean by linear data structure? A linear data structure is one in which elements are arranged in sequential manner. Okay, and each element is connected to previous one and next element, so it is very useful to find the exact data. Okay, so what do you mean by non-linear data structure? The non-linear data structure is one in which elements are not arranged in sequential manner, not connected to the previous one, not connected to the next one, in which element is connected to other elements through multiple paths. Okay, there are multiple paths for connecting the element in different manner. So this is the basic diagram of the data structure that are very really understood for the what are the actual type of data structure. Like data structure are of 2 types, linear and non-linear. And what is linear data structure? Linear data structure are array, linked list, and we can use it to implement stack queue. Okay, there are the two parts that we can implement to stack and queue. What are the non-linear data structure? Non-linear data structure are tree, graph, hash table. In this video, we cover the before sections part of the algorithm. In the next part, we cover the algorithm section, in which we will see the greedy algorithm, dynamic programming, and all the other related sorting and searching problems. Okay, so let's move on to the first concepts. What is array? So as we all know that array is a data type which is of fixed capacity and can store collection of element, but array has many drawback. Instead of linked list, why we use array? As I already said in my previous video, that if we want to store a same type of data in a particular series of elements, so we don't allocate the particular memory to different type of data. We will make the same element and it will allocate memory to this data. Okay, so these are the basic diagram that are used in array, and with the help of index number like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we can identify the particular location of element. Moving to the next topic, that are some operations that can be performed in the array, like first inserting an element in array. To insert an element and element at a specific position, we will need to shift all the elements from that position by 1 to right. Consider the array. Let's we consider the array like A, B, C, D, E, F. Let's say you want to insert J at third position. What is the third position? By index 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we have to put the third position. So what is the third position? At this side, not from the index side. Like 0, 1, 2 and third is here, but 1, 2, 3, this is the position, not we want to add at the index position. So we want to insert J at third position. So 1, 2, 3, we want to add J at third position. So from first, all the element from the third position of last position are shifted, means this all element are shifted, then specific element are inserted at the given position. Okay, so this is the basic diagram. You can see this PDF are really helpful during your preparation, and this PDF resources, diagrams, all are from NVTQ website, because NVTQ website has lot of sufficient content for preparing the exam. Okay, so this is the array, and in which A, B, C, D, E. So we shift the element are shifted to right side of array, and the new element are inserted at a specific index. Suppose we want to add the J at third position, so it will be added in this array. So what we want to add it in the array, data is equals to J, and where is the place of index? Index place is 2, because 0 will be static index. So second point is deleting an element array. It will be same as the inserted, if we insert a element at a specific index or position, so we want to delete an element of array, so we perform this operation as the previous one. So we delete the specific index value or specific element. Okay, for deleting an element of array, the element need to be shifted from position. Consider the array. Let's say you want to delete the element at third position. So what is the third position? 0, 1, 2, 3. So this is the third position, but index is 2. So element to be deleted at index 2, so it will be deleted and the array will be in new form. Okay, so what are the limitations of array? There are some limitations of array, that we not used array as a primary, because we used a linked list as a mode, because array has some limitation. Array is one of the most widely and frequently used data structure, but it has some limitation. What are the some limitation? Like array can contain data of only similar type. Heterogeneous element cannot be stored in array. Only similar type of data are stored in array. Array is of fixed size, that I already discussed in the previous video, that once declared, the size cannot be changed. So there is a loss of memory uses, and many aspects are in the array. Okay, so we have seen the insertion and deletion operation in array. Those operations are expensive, are in terms of memory, as they require shifting of element, because we want to shift the element for particular insertion and deletion. Okay, so the elements of array are stored in continuous memory location. If the required number of blocks are not present together in the memory, or we can say that there are no more space in the memory for the continuous memory location, so array will not create it. So this is the some limitations of the array. So why we not use the array as the primary data structure, but it is most widely data structure, but it has some limitation that we discussed. Okay, so what is the linked list? Instead of using array, we used a new concept, or we used a new data structure called linked list. A linked list is a linear data structure that are used to store collection of objects. Okay, as we have seen in the array drawback that array is of fixed size. So in linked list there is no of fixed size, that we if we declare the linked list, so we cannot again add the element in this. If we need the particular data for the linked list, so we make node, and node contain two parts, data and link part, and as we for need, so we add the data in the linked list. So list is made up of individual node which may be present at different memory location. Okay, they not need to be contiguous unlike array. Okay, different memory location are present in the linked list, so there is not need of the continuous memory location. These nodes are connected or linked to each other. A node is made up of two parts, one to store data which is the actual data, and link to connect to the next node. What is the link? Link to the next node. You can also read from the handwritten notes that are very useful for the like you can see the diagram that are very, this is the data part and this is the link part. So link part when be connected to the next node, and info part is the actual data, and the node content from the two starting point like head and tail will be the last point. So it is the particular node. And what are the some advantage of linked list and disadvantage of linked list? You can prefer this handwritten notes. Okay, these are of only 23 pages, but these have sufficient information part. Okay, so the first element or node in a linked list is called the head, as I already said that, and the last node of linked list is called tail. So link of the tail node always point to null, indicating the end of linked list, because there is no value that are pointing towards to the next, so this is the end of linked list. Okay, so this is the practical implementation part of linked list that we have to read for the actual representation of linked list. So how to create a linked list? Let us now by trying implementing linked list using Java, because we learn the data structure using Java. We need to first represent a node. A node can be representing by creating a class. For making or creating a linked list, we need to first represent a node, because a node represent by creating a class. The class can have two attributes like data and next. What do you mean by data? For storing the data, next for storing the link to the next node. What is the actual part that you understood, that there next means link, because it will be linked to the other node. Okay, so what we have defined that public class and node is useful for presenting the data. So a node can be representing by creating a class. For representing a node, we need to create a class string data. So what is the data? Data comes in like string, and the next will be node of, because it will be linked to the next node. Here the data to be stored is type of string, since city names have to be stored. Okay, so we take an example as city names that we stored in string, and the data member value can be of primitive type or even object based on the requirement. The complete implementation of node class is like this, like public class node, private string data. So because it is under this, so we make the private string data and private node next, public node string data. So what is the actually, this is for the actual data that is stored in this, and this is for set data, what is actual data and what we set in the string data. That is public void set next node. So what actually it is actually pointing to the next node. These are very important concept. And what is this public string get data? It is useful for getting the data that we want to store, that we stored in particular string, and that we want to get the values from the data. So we use the get data method. Okay, so what do you mean by public node get next? So next are useful for pointing to the next node, because it is important to know that what are the stored in the next node that are pointing towards before the next node. Okay, So next attribute of node class will be set to null by the constructor implicitly, hence it is not explicitly set to null. This can also be done by adding next to null in the constructor of node class. So what it actually means, next is next attribute of the node class. So this is the attribute. Next attribute of node class will be set to null by constructor implicitly, because we don't know actually what the data comes in it, so we implement the next attribute by null by constructor implicitly. Okay, so this is the complete implementation of linked list. Like if we want to find the complete implementation of linked list, so you can follow as like public class linked list. So for representing the linked list, we want a class. So this is the class, and the first node of or we can actually say that the first node of linked list is called head, and the last node of linked list is called tail. So it is the basically private. And what is the get head? Get head is the get the value of head that are actually written for the get head. And what is the value of what do you meaning by the public node get tail? So get tail are basically used to return the tail value. Okay, so these are the some operations, or as I say that these are the some algorithm that are useful for adding the element to linked list, because there are some operations that we can perform on the linked list that are adding, searching, inserting, or we can say that deleting an element to the linked list. So what are the algorithm? The algorithm is for adding to the data. Create a new node with the given data. Firstly, you have to create a new node if the linked list is empty. Okay, so you want to check the condition that if linked list is empty, then make this new node the head and the tail node. Okay, so we not identify the actually head and tail node. So if the linked list is empty, then we make this node is the head and the tail node. Else, if this condition is not true, if this condition is false, so we go to this part. Else, make the link of the tail node refer to the new node. Okay, so we want to link of the tail node refer to the new node and make the tail refer to the new node. Okay, so this will clear all your doubts, because this is the adding an element to linked list algorithm. Same for displaying a linked list. These are the some algorithm that you read during your preparation from these notes. These notes are available on blog. Okay, for searching and delete algorithm, quite changes check from, you can check also from NVTQ website, because these are quite same, or we want to some operations that are really opposite to the inserting element. This is the class diagram. Basically, class diagram is used to represent some of the functions, though you can see that what are the actual representation of node and what are the actual representation of linked list. In node there is a data called string. So node contain two parts, data and link, also called link means also called next. So string and node, and there are the some operations that can perform like get data, get next, set data, node. So this is the basically class diagram that are important to the important respective to the exam. So you can also see from this PDF. Okay, so this is the main difference between array and linked list. What are the some difference that between array versus linked list? Array can contain only fixed number of element. Okay, so we have already learned that array has a fixed of size, array has a fixed size, and linked list contain variable number of element, because as we need, so we can make the particular element. Okay, so in array elements are stored in contiguous memory location, and in the linked list elements need not necessarily be stored in contiguous memory location. From the respective point of array can be accessed both randomly and sequentially, and the linked list can be accessed only sequentially because it cannot be accessed randomly. In the case of array, shifting of elements are required for insertion and deletion operation, as we have already discussed in the previous concept. And in the case of linked list, shifting of elements are not required for insertion and deletion operation. Okay, so what are the last difference between array and linked list? Size must be specified during declaration. When we declare the array, so there is a size must be specified during declaration, and in the case of linked list, size need not be specified during declaration. Okay, So moving on to the next topic, what is the stack and what are this is the some important data structure that we learn in the particular part. Stack is a list of element in which element may be inserted or deleted only at one end, called top of the stack. The last end element will be first to remove from the stack. That is the reason the stack is also called LIFO, last in first out, or we can say that this is work on the last in first out concept. These are the basical example. If we want to place our shirts or t-shirts or our cloth in the cupboard, so we arranged in a particular, not a particular manner, we arrange just. So we want to take the first shirt from the top of the first. So this is the concept of the stack. So that is the inserted or deleted only at one end, called top of the stack, because we do not take shirt from the last, or we cannot take a shirt from the medium side. Okay, so this is the work on the last in first out. What is the array implementation of stack? Array implementation of stack is the like this type. There is a class stack and there is a private int top, private int max size. What are these all the variables that we have to see the particular diagram? What is the, this is the class stack that are used to represent the stack. Private int top, what do you mean by this? Represent the index position of topmost element in the stack. Suppose we like I will open the paint brush, so it is very useful for understanding the concept. Okay, friends, so this is the stacks, this is the stack and this is the top of stack. Okay, so we read that insertion and deletion are only from one end, called top of the stack. So what it actually say, that top represent the index position of topmost element in the stack, means the top represent the index position. What do you mean by max size? Max size represent the maximum number of element that can be stored in the stack. Okay, so max size means a maximum number of element that can be stored in this stack. And for the stack int max size, top is initialized to -1 when a stack is created. Whenever a stack is created, we define or initialize the top to -1. So this is the basically implementation of the array implementation of stack. From this implementation, we implement the array with the help of array we implement stack. So the main operation that are possible on stack are push, pop and pick. Push means just simple that add an element to top of the stack. Like if you want to add element, so we insert or push the element into stack, and during the pop we remove element from top of the stack. Pick is the return the topmost element of the stack that are finally in the topmost stack. So what is the push operation algorithm? For performing the push operation algorithm, we need to check whether the stack is full. If the stack is full, return false, because we want to add element, so this can be not perform the operation. If the stack is not full, it can be increment top by 1, add the element at top position in the element array, and returns true. Okay, so this is the second operation that are comes under the stack part, like pop operation. What is the pop operation? Pop operation means delete the value from stack or pop the value from stack. So algorithm quite be same, but this is the this some different aspect during the pop operation, like check whether the stack is empty. Okay, so when the stack is empty, if the stack is empty, return appropriate message like stack is empty. If stack is not empty, retrieve data at the top of stack, decrement top by -1 and retrieve the return the retrieved element, because important to manage the stack. So this is the algorithm that are used in the push operation and pop operation. You can also visit from the NVTQ website for the pictorial representation of this. Okay, so what are the some stack applications? There are many scenarios in real life where stack is being used, and in internet browser, the address of recently visited sites are stored in stack. Every time we want to visit a new site, the address of that site is pushed to stack of the address. With the help of back button, the previous site visitors is pop out. Okay, so these are the some stack application that are used, or we can say that are used in the real life. Let's move on to the next next data structure called queue. for during moving on to the next topic, these are the some important notes that are very really helpful during your preparation. You can also access from this blog, and you will find all the details that I add in the handwritten notes. Okay, so what is the queue data structure? As I already said that in my previous video, or we can discuss in this video, that let's take an example. Can we directly go to the front and withdraw money when there are people in front of you in the queue? When we suppose go to when we go to bank, and if there is a line, so can can I directly go to the front and withdraw money and there is a line between? So no, an order has to be maintained to enter and exit from the queue, because the line has maintained from following the people. So the first person in the queue has to withdraw money, followed by the next person, and so on, and this process continue until the last person reaches. Okay, those who wish to withdraw money have to join the end of queue, and there are so many people that you can join end of the queue. This means a queue can follow a principle called first in first out. Means if the first person receives the withdraw money, then it will be out from the first side, and then the next person will come to the point. Also, this is the really important advantage of the queue. There are a lot of other scenario in real life where a queue is required, like in railway station, people ticketing, people standing in queue to check in at airport. As we can see that a queue is a linear data structure which follow FIFO principle, means first in first out, and with the operation related to the FIFO can be performed. Okay, so this is the array implementation of queue, and what it is say that there is a class queue, there is a private int front rear max size. So what all are this? So we understand with this concept. So there is a class queue. What do you mean by front? Front represent the index position of first element in the queue. So like this is the queue, and the front element represent the index position of first element in the queue. What do you mean by rear? Rear represent the index position of last element in the queue, and the max size represent the maximum number of element that can be stored in the queue. So what is the actual? This is the actual that we implement from this keyword. Like we use the super keyword in Python. So like super keyword use in the Python. So from super keyword use like this keyword in Java. Okay, so front is initialized to the 0 and rear to -1 when a queue is created, because we want to maintain a queue. So the main operation that are possible in queue are enqueue and dequeue. Enqueue means simply add an element to the end of queue, and dequeue will remove an element from front of the queue. The items are removed in the same order as well as added, unlike stack. Okay, so this is the some basic example or basic diagram of queue that you can see that this is the rear part and this is the front part that you are used to remove the dequeue, and these are rear part are used for enqueue. Okay. So what do you mean by the enqueue operation algorithm? There are two algorithms that are in the queue present. For checking the enqueue operation algorithm, firstly we check the whether the queue is full or not. If the queue is full, return false. If the queue is not full, increment rear by 1 and add the element or rear position in the element array, because we want to maintain a queue. Same as the dequeue, but we want to increment front by 1, and in this we increment rear by 1. So this is the diagram you can all also understood by this diagram. So moving to the next topic that are not related to some data structure, or we can see that, but these are related to data structures topic like collection, framework and generics. Okay, so what are actually it is, and as we have already seen how to implement linked list, stack, queue in Java. Okay, so we have to see that as a developer you need to create the class with all the functionalities. So if we want to implement this data structure like linked list, stack, queue in Java, we want to create a class, and with the functionality we want to implement this. But you need not do this case of Java, as Java has collection framework. Okay, so we don't want to implement the class or this functionality. We don't to create, because Java has a some feature like collection framework which provide built-in implementation for many data structure, which simples the work of a developer, which eases the work for a developer. you will now understand Java collection, its hierarchy and the available method. So what do you mean by Java collection? A collection is an object that group multiple element into single unit. There are the multiple element that we can group into a single unit. Where what is the actual use of collection? The collection actual use is used to store, retrieve and manipulate data. Okay, collection framework in Java help us in representing and manipulating collection. Okay, so it is a collection of interfaces and classes which help in storing the processing the data efficiently. It is used for storing and processing the data efficiently. Collection framework standardize the way we store in data from collection, and it is the part of java.util package. So it is the actually part of java.util package, and the diagram represent the hierarchy of Java collection framework. Okay, so you can see that there are some data structure called list, queue and set, and this is the collection. So what we implement, like from the list we implement the vector array, list, linked list, QR, DQ, array DQ, priority queue. For the set, like hash set, link set, sorted set, navigable set, tree set. So these are the basically use of the collection or interfaces that are used to process the data efficiently without using the classes, because this is the built-in implementation. Okay, so the following list describe the various interfaces for collection framework. These are the some interfaces that are related. These are the some interfaces that are related to the collections. So the collection, the root of collection hierarchy. So what do you mean by collection? The collection is the collection root, as it represent the group of object known its element. Some type of collection allow duplicate element and other do not. Some are ordered and some are unordered. So what do you mean by set, and what do you mean by list, and what do you mean by queue? Okay, so set is the collection that cannot contain duplicate element, because as we already discussed that some are ordered and some are unordered, and some element allow duplicate element and other do not. Okay, so list, what do you mean by list? List is a group of different type of element. And what is the actual work of list? List can contain duplicate element. Okay, so stack do not set do not contain duplicate element. List is contain and order collection and contain duplicate element. A programmer can access element by their index position, has control over each element as inserted in the list. What do you mean by DQ and Q? As I already said in the previous concept. So apart from the collection interface, Java also has an interface that represent a mapping between key and value. So we discussed in the Python data structure concept called the dictionary. Dictionary follow the key value pattern. So for like that, Java has also interface that representing a mapping between a key and value. The map interface is not a subtype of collection interface, and it behave a bit differently from the other collection type that are required for this topic. Okay, so what is the actually key? Key is a unique element that act as an identifier for its value. Okay, we want to access value, we need the key. So this will allow us to store data in pair, where each pair is called an entry. The diagram represent the hierarchy of map. So what do you mean by map? Map will represent is used to key and value pair, and which interfaces comes under like hash map, sorted map, concurrent map, and these are the some hashes map. What are the benefits of Java collection framework? Ready to use classes and algorithm, because we don't want to add or use or implement from the classes and algorithm. Reduces programming effort because it has so many advantage, and increases program speed and quality, encourages reusability. So these are the benefits of collection framework. What are the generics? Let us now look at the collection interface. This is the collection interface that we made in the Java, like public interface, collection and E. What do you mean by E? You can notice E in the declaration, which you have not used before. We have to not used before. The E syntax tell you that the interface is generic. Okay, so this will indicates that the interface is generic. When you declare a collection instance, you should specify the type of object contained in the collection. Whenever we declare the collection instance, we need to specify the type of object that are contained in the collection. Specifying the type allow compiler to verify at compile time because it reduces the error at runtime. What is the use of generics and what we use the generics makes the code more stable by making more bugs detectable at compile time. Okay, so generics enable types, classes and interface to be parameter while defining classes, interface and method. So it is very important concept because it stable the code more stable and more bug detectable, okay, at compile time. So the variable e used in the above declaration is type parameter. Like formal parameter used in method declaration, type parameter provide a way for use to reuse the same code with different input. As we want to suppose this operation on different inputs, so we reuse this code. Okay. Now what is the actual difference in the parameter value? As you can see that is the type argument. Code that uses generic has many benefit over non-generic code. A stronger type check at compile time. We check the stronger type checks at compile time, and it will helpful for reducing the error. Elimination of cast. The following code is snipped without generics require casting. So for the elimination of casting, we use the generics. Okay. So what is the actual? This is the actual of array list, and we want to make that you can see the following from the following PDF. Okay, so what are the some generic method that are useful for this? In addition to generic type parameter can also be used to define generic method. As we learn that what are the type parameter and the type argument. Okay, so what is the generic method? Generic methods are method that introduce their own type parameter. Okay, so these are the some method that introduce their own type parameter. This is similar to declaring a generic type, but the type parameter scope is limited to the method where it is declared. So what is the syntax of generic method? Include a list of parameter like public static e void method. This is the syntax for the generic. Moving on to the next topic like collection interface. Friends, as these concepts are only important for the theoretical part, for the numerical part, as we discussed in the previous section or the previous topic, for practicing you solve the more by more questions on the NVTQ platform. And there is one important update that there is no section of object oriented programming using Java, so you can practice by yourself for the object oriented programming. Okay, so what do you mean by collection interface? Now that you have understand generics, we will get into detail of collection framework. As we completed the generics part and the collection, as we move on to the collection interface, the root of collection hierarchy is java.util.collection e interface. Okay, so it specifies the basic operation, and these are the some basic method that are used for the collection interface. Like method is boolean add add a new element e to the collection. This is the basic syntax, and this you want to add by the particular method. These are the some particular method that are given in this. You can read from that. These are important to know that because in exam some of the method are asked from this. Okay, so what do you mean by collection class? Apart from collection interfaces, Java has also a collection class. So we read the collection interfaces. It specifies the basic operation and manipulating elements in the collection. So apart from this, Java has also collection classes. So the Java UTL collection class directly extend the object class. So why it extend the object class? Because we want to perform some operation that are very useful for that. And this class contains some static method that operate on a return collection. The method of this class throw a null pointer exception if the collection or class object provided to them are null. Below are some common method of collection that operate on collection like copy, frequency, max, min, replace. All these are the some important method that you want to learn about that. So moving on to the next topic, array list. In array list, the element can be added or removed as and when required. Also, there is no need to maintain any stack. So what is the actual advantage of array list? We want to element can be added as removed as when as required, and there is no need to maintain any stack, maintain any index. Okay, so there are the few method of array list as I already discussed, and these are the some method that are important to know that for the exam point of view, like void add, boolean add. What are the description that you read in this? Okay, so what are the method in linked list? There are also some method in linked list. There are also important to know about that. These are method that are somebody asked in the exam, but most of the questions are asked from the linked list, stack and queue. This is the theoretical part. So what do you mean by set interface? As we know that set do not allow the duplicate data. Set represent an unordered collection with unique element. It is present in the java.utl package. Just like list, set has also several implementation. As we see that the various implementation in the list, so set has also several implementation. Like first we discuss about the hash set class. So what do you mean by hash set? Hash set uses hash table. As a hash table are the important concept that we discussed in the next upcoming video. Hash set uses hash table for storing the unique element. There is no guarantee on the iteration order of the set, but hash set is used for storing the unique element. Okay, hash set depends on the equal and hash code method for detecting duplicate and null values are avoided, because set does not allow the duplicate value, but hash set detecting duplicate and none values are allowed. The code of creating hash set object is below. That you want to import java.utl hash set, importing the hash set class. This is the hash set class. Then you need to import java.utl.set. There is a public class tester. You want to check the following condition. And if you want to read the methods, you want to read from the NFTQ website. Let's move on to the next topic, like hash map, book and location example. Like if we have a different book, and if we want to identify the particular book from the location, so we use the hash map, a map representing a mapping between a key and value, and it is used to store data to similar to a dictionary, where a lookup is performed based on a key and respective value is written. Okay, in the case of tree house book store, the key can be a book name. Okay, so book name can be a key and the value be a shelf number, as we would to search for a book using the book name and try to find the shelf number. In Java, map in an interface defined by public interface map, and where is the k define the key type, and v stand for the value type. These are important to know that the interface. What is the use of hash map class? The hash map class implement the map interface, and it can be used to store key value pair. So this is the two ways that are used to create the hash map. It is important to know that hash map is known as hash map because it uses a technical called hashing, which convert a large value to a smaller value, which can be used for indexing and easier retrieval of data. So this is the important point. Let's move on to the last concept that are coming in this video, like queue interface. Okay, so queue is a collection that are used to hold multiple element prior to process. It is an interface. Why we use queue? Because it represent an ordered list of element. Queue support all method of collection interface that are given, and all queue support insertion at the tail of the queue and removal from the head of queue except dequeue. Okay, so dequeue are queue, but they support element insertion and removal at both ends. Okay, so what are the among exceptions that are used to the queue implementation? Why we use queue implementation for the collection interface? Because all operations are supported by collection interface, and it will provide additional task for the insertion and extraction operation. Okay, so each of these operation exists in two form. One of these operations are performed in the exception task, and some of the other operation are performed in the special value task. So these are the some method that are used in the operation interface or the queue interface for the collection interface that are important. So these are the various interface like dequeue, blocking queue, and this is the by the way you can initiated it queue, string queue, new array dequeue, new priority queue. So these are the some implementation. What do you mean by dequeue interface? Dequeue is a linear connection that support element insertion and removal at both ends. So this interface extend the queue interface. So this is the some important point that are important to know about this array DQ class and DQ interface. These are important for the interview also and for the theoretical concept. So I hope this video is useful for the everyone. You complete the data structure using Java part 1. In the part 2 we see the algorithm section that are very important, and it will contain the many the practical implementation, because in the first series it contains some theoretical part and practical part. So if you have any doubt, you just drop your query in the comment section, and this video is very useful. If you want more video, just drop your comment in comment section. Thanks for watching the video.